Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to discuss about restriction enzymes. Now, what are restriction enzymes? Restriction enzymes, yesterday we discussed about nucleases. Okay, so what are nucleases? Nucleases are the enzymes which cleave the nucleic acid. They are called as DNAs when they cleave the DNA, or they are called as RNAs when they cleave the RNA. Now, there is one class of endonuclease enzymes called as restriction enzymes or restriction endonucleases. Okay, what are those? Let us discuss. Restriction enzymes or restriction endonucleases are the most widely used molecular biology tools. They are used in molecular biology laboratories. Why? They are used to cut the DNA at a particular site, okay, within their recognition sequence. First of all, what are endonucleases? Which cleave the DNA from within, inside. They break the inner phosphodiester linkages. What are restriction endonucleases or restriction enzymes? They cleave the DNA molecule, they cut the DNA molecule and convert it into pieces. But they cut at a specific site which is having a specific recognition sequence. Okay, so they are called as restriction enzymes because they cut the DNA at restricted site, not anywhere. Okay. The existence of restriction enzyme was first postulated by Werner Arber in the early 1960s while studying bacteriophages. Okay, so the existence of such enzyme was first noted down by Werner Arber in 1960s when he was studying bacteriophages. What he said that most bacteria produce certain kind of enzymes which we now call as restriction enzymes as a defense mechanism against bacteriophages. Okay, so bacteria produce a special type of enzyme called as restriction enzyme to protect themselves from bacteriophages. What do these enzymes do? These enzymes called as restriction enzyme prevent the replication of bacteriophage DNA by cleaving the DNA at specific site. So restriction enzyme protected their host from the bacteriophages by breaking down the phage DNA at specific site. Then the question arose why these enzymes do not break their host DNA. They don't break their host DNA. They break the DNA of only phages and destroy them. Why? The host DNA is protected because due to methylation, because the host DNA is methylated. Okay, so host DNA is protected by methylases which add methyl group to adenine or cytosine bases within the recognition site, thereby modifying the cutting sites and protecting the host DNA. Okay, so the host DNA is protected from restriction enzyme, from being cut down by restriction enzyme due to methylation of adenine or cytosine bases within the recognition sequence. Okay, so Werner Arber proved that certain enzymes are produced by the host cells to protect their host from the phage attack by destroying the phage DNA, but not by attacking the host self DNA. So what are restriction enzymes? They are called as molecular scissors because they cut the DNA. Okay, now the term restriction enzyme originated basically from the studies of lambda phage. Okay, phage which attacks E. coli. Now in 1970, Hamilton Smith, Thomas Kelly and Kent Wilcox isolated and characterized first type 2 restriction enzyme HIND2 from the bacterium Haemophilus influenzae. Okay, so the first restriction enzyme, the name restriction enzyme was given and the first restriction enzyme was isolated from Haemophilus influenzae HIND2 by Hamilton Smith and his colleagues in 1970. And so, but the existence of restriction enzyme was first told to us or known by Werner Arber. The first restriction enzyme was isolated from Haemophilus influenzae named as HIND2 by Hamilton Smith and his colleagues. For their work in the discovery and characterization of restriction enzymes, in 1978, Nobel Prize for Physiology and Medicine was awarded to Werner Arber, Daniel Nathans and Hamilton Smith. So they won Nobel Prize for this. Now, so restriction enzyme, the first restriction enzyme was found by Hamilton Smith and his colleagues. Over 1500 restriction enzymes are found. More than 3000 enzymes are known to us now. Restriction enzymes are protein in nature. They are helpful in cutting the DNA molecules. They are also called as restriction endonuclease. They have been isolated from bacteria and blue-green algae. One of the first enzymes from E. coli was named after the organism from which it was isolated, that is EcoR1. We'll study the mechanism of nomenclature now in the coming slides. Okay, so what are restriction enzymes then? Restriction enzymes are protein in nature. They are used to cut the DNA molecules. They cut the DNA at specific recognition sequence. Okay, they cleave the phosphodiester bond of double-stranded DNA molecule. What do? They cleave the phosphodiester bond of double-stranded DNA molecules. Okay, but restriction endonuclease cut at a specific site which is called as recognition sequence or recognition site. The recognition sequence or the cutting site is a palindromic sequence containing 4 to 6 bases. Okay, so the recognition sequence is having palindromic sequence made up of 4 to 6 bases. As you can see from the one which is shown here, if you look at the upper strand, it is GAATTC. If you look at the lower one and if you read it in the backward direction, it will be read as GAATTC. Okay, so inverted, if you read it in from one direction to another, say 5 prime to 3 prime, it will read the same, and hence it is called as a palindromic sequence. The recognition sequence is having 4 to 6 base pairs. Okay, so the restriction enzymes cleave a particular DNA at a restriction site made up of 4 to 6 bases, which is a palindromic sequence. Okay, so you can see here, it is a palindromic sequence. If you read it from one direction to another, say 5 to 3 prime, it will read the same. And in the reverse direction also, like GAATTC. Okay, if you read it in reverse, GAATTC. So this is called as a palindromic sequence, and every recognition sequence is a palindrome having 4 to 6 base pairs. Okay. So the precise definition of restriction enzyme is, restriction enzyme or restriction endonucleases are a class of nucleases which can cleave the double-stranded DNA in a precise manner at a limited number of sites having a unique base sequence, and which is called as recognition sequence. Okay. Now, there are 3 different types of restriction enzymes. If you study the types or classification of restriction enzymes, there are 3 types of or 3 major classes of restriction enzymes. You have to remember this. Type 1 restriction enzyme, type 2 restriction enzyme, and type 3 restriction enzymes. These are the major classes. Now, as far as genetic engineering experiments or recombinant DNA technology experiments are concerned, type 1 and type 3 restriction enzymes are not much used. Okay, type 1 and type 3 are not much used. Why they are not used? Type 1 and type 3 enzymes have both restriction and modification activity. That means they not only cut but they also modify the DNA. We don't want that. In genetic engineering, we want restriction enzymes which will only cut the DNA. Okay, but type 1 and type 3 restriction enzymes, they have both restriction and modification activity, number 1. Number 2, they cut the DNA at a site some distance away from the recognition sequence, so not desirable. Okay, number 1, why they are not desirable? Because they have both restriction and modification activity. Number 2, they don't cut within the sequence. They cut the DNA at site some distance away from the recognition sequence. Number 2. Number 3, they need ATP for carrying out all the restriction modification activity. They lack predictability. So type 1 enzymes are non-specific in cleavage, and type 1 and type 3 enzymes both are not much used in genetic engineering because they have restriction and modification activity both, and they require ATP. Also they are non-specific, they don't cut the DNA within the site, so they are not used. So which are the restriction enzymes which are most widely used in biotechnology or in genetic engineering experiments? They are type 2 restriction enzymes. Type 2 restriction enzymes are ideal for genetic engineering. Why? Why they are ideal? They have only restriction activity but no modification. Why they are desirable? Because they have only restriction activity, no modification. First desirable feature. Number 2, each time they cut the DNA, they cut within the restriction recognition site or adjacent to the recognition sequence. So the cut that is made by type 2 restriction enzyme is predictable and in a site specific manner. They cut the DNA within or adjacent to the recognition sequence. They only require magnesium, divalent magnesium ions as cofactor. They do not require ATP. Okay. So type 2 restriction enzymes are used and they are desirable because they do not require ATP. They only require magnesium ions. They have only restriction activity, no modification activity. Each and every cut is predictable and site specific, and hence they are used widely in genetic engineering experiments. Now, as far as naming the restriction enzyme, the nomenclature of restriction enzyme. Okay. In the beginning, you have come across two names. Number one, Hind2, EcoR1. Now, how they are named like this? The enzymes, restriction enzymes, are designated by 3-letter abbreviation. Okay, the name of every restriction enzyme consists of 3 alphabets, 3 letters. Okay, all the 3 letters stand for the host organism from which they have been isolated. The 3-letter name may be followed by a 4th letter designating the strain. Say for example, if I say ECO, that means E and CO stand for the name of the organism. E, the first letter written in capital, stands for the genus or the organism. The second and third, the next 2 letters stand for the name of the species of the organism. Sometimes the 3-letter name is followed by a 4th letter. The 4th letter stands for the strain of the organism. Okay, and if required, the 4th letter is followed by a Roman numeral. Okay, Roman numeral are used to indicate different restriction modification system when more than one enzyme is obtained from the same organism. Okay, so if more than one enzyme has been isolated from the same organism, the Roman number is given after the 4th letter, which indicate the order of the discovery. Okay, if I say EcoR1 means the first enzyme that was isolated from E. coli. EcoR2, the second restriction enzyme isolated from E. coli strain R. Okay, so of the 3 letters, the first is the initial letter of the name of the genus of the organism, the second letter and the third letter the species of the organism. Okay, and the 4th letter is the name of the strain. It is the strain. Okay, so let us discuss about the nomenclature. Now see, when I use the term EcoR1, E stands for Escherichia, CO stands for coli, that means organism name is Escherichia coli, R is the strain, and 1 is the first enzyme that is isolated from Escherichia coli. Okay, so EcoR1 is the name given to the enzyme which has been isolated from E. coli. Okay. The next enzymes are Hind2, like Hind3, then BAM-H1 and so many other enzymes have been isolated. Okay. So, EcoR1, every restriction enzyme is given a 3-letter name. The first, the genus, the second and third letter, the name of the species. Then, so E for Escherichia, CO for coli, okay, and R for the restriction, isolated from strain R, and I, number 1 for the name of the, you can say, the first enzyme in the order of the discovery. Okay, So that is all about restriction enzymes. Now, whenever a restriction enzyme cuts a DNA at a particular site which we call as recognition sequence, which is a palindromic sequence, then sometimes the ends are staggered and sometimes the ends are blunt. Okay? So, Escherichia coli. Right? So, that is all about restriction endonucleases or restriction enzymes. Now, the next time we will discuss about blunt end ligation. So, what are restriction enzymes now? Restriction enzymes are the nucleases which cut the DNA at a particular site, okay, and bring about fragmentation of DNA. So, Escherichia, E stands for Escherichia, CO for coli, R for strain, and 1 for the Roman number for the first enzyme isolated from E. coli. Another may be BAM-H1. BAM, B stands for Bacillus, AM for amyloliquefaciens, H for the strain, and Roman 1 for the first enzyme isolated from Bacillus amyloliquefaciens. Okay. So, whenever, as I told you, a restriction enzyme cuts a DNA, right, it may create blunt ends or sticky ends. In the first example, you can see there are 4 bases and in between the 2 bases the DNA is being cut. So, when 2 DNA fragments are created, both are having same ends, okay, same length of the 2 fragments, or it is cut in between the site. So, that creates blunt ended DNA. Okay, if you look at the third one, that is BAM-H1, you can see the red arrows how they are cut. From here and from here the enzyme will be cut, and hence it will create sticky ends or single stranded ends called as sticky ends. Okay, so if you look at the first enzyme and the second enzyme, Haemophilus aegyptius 3, they produce blunt ended DNA. Rest of the 3 enzymes produce sticky ended DNA. So this we are going to discuss in the next lecture. So these are the blunt ends. Both the DNA strands are having the same length. Okay, like here. And sometimes sticky ended DNA are produced. So that we are going to discuss in the next lecture.